Record. All right, everybody. Well, welcome and happy Wednesday. Great to see you all on the call on this beautiful, warm summer's evening. Hopefully, wherever you are too, it is beautiful in Ottawa. But I am so excited to share with you this unconventional healing modality that is transforming lives all by using the power of our own light. So we're going to get into how it all works in just a little bit. We're also going to hear some powerful testimonials tonight, but I'm going to start with my experience with it and how it started for me about 14 months ago. So I am a health and empowerment coach, helping people to empower themselves, get healthy, become the best versions of themselves. And my focus on my own health started about 6 years ago when I woke up from my program mind and I decided to change my life, my lifestyle habits, my food choices. I lost 60 pounds, and this was just the beginning of my reinvention. So being a lifelong learner, I am constantly open to new information and embracing change. And so about 14 months ago, I was introduced to this revolutionary phototherapy patch in the field of regenerative science and age reversal. And this has had a huge impact on me, on my health, on my business as a coach, the health of my loved ones, and those that I have shared this with. So my personal belief began really when my 77-year-old mom was patched. So she started to experience benefits. So we started patching around pretty much the same time. I split my first order with her. She started to experience benefits within 2 days of patching. Her debilitating knee pain and inflammation that she had had for years eased up. She was actually going to physio 3 times a week. And so the first week that she went back to physio, they noticed that she had more mobility, less inflammation, and she asked what she was doing differently. And the only thing that had changed was this sticker that her daughter put on her. My mom also started to experience better quality of sleep, deeper sleep. She noticed much more energy during the day. She was able to return to her regular activities, gardening, swimming, walking, caring for her younger grandkids. For me, the benefits have been life-changing as well. I started sleeping through the night a couple of days after I started patching, having vivid dreams, which I had not done in years. I also no longer have lower back pain, this compression tightness that I had had on and off for years. No more visits to the chiropractor, no more stiff and sore joints. I recover quicker after working out. My energy, my mental clarity, and focus have improved. I'm also pleased to report that I feel this sense of calm and less anxious in this crazy world. But what truly fires me up is that I know that the best is yet to come. My body is healing and repairing and age reversing, as you will soon discover. So before we get into the testimonials tonight, I am going to share my screen. We're going to get into the formal part of this presentation, actually. Okay, so let me share my screen with you. And if you can let me know once you see the presentation, if you can give me a thumbs up. Okay, now I got to see if you're giving me a thumbs up. All right, perfect. Okay, awesome. Okay, so tonight, I want to share with you how this little patch is going to activate your body's own healing mechanism. And this isn't just any patch. What makes this patch so unique is that it uses your body's own natural healing ability by using your own light. And I do want to say at the outset that LifeWave products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, prevent any disease or medical condition. This is not a medical device that requires FDA approval. This patch is actually FDA recognized as a general wellness product. Okay, so I'm going to start off with a couple of stats here. Something I didn't know about 14 months ago, that as we age, we lose healthy stem cells. And this is the healing and the repair mechanisms that our bodies rely on. So our stem cells actually go dormant. So by the age of 30, healthy stem cells decrease by 60%. By 60 years old, those healthy stem cells decrease by 90%. And so not only is the natural aging process contributing to our decline in health, but unfortunately, the world we live in, this modern age of convenience and consumerism, we are bombarded. We are inundated with toxins and chemicals in the air, in the water, in our food, in the man-made synthetic radiation everywhere. And this all leads to cellular dysfunction. And our bodies require healthy active stem cells to heal and repair the body. Stem cells are the undifferentiated cells that turn into any cell that's needed throughout our body. So they, in fact, become your heart cells, your lung cells, your liver cells, your hair cells, your brain cells. And sure, there's stem cell therapy, but where do those stem cells come from? What's at the end of that needle? Stem cell therapy is also expensive. It's not readily available. It's not accessible. It's invasive, it's risky, and it's actually only about 50% effective because they stay local to that injection site. So this is why regenerating your own stem cells is exciting and why this phototherapy patch is such a powerful option. So, phototherapy, this might be a new term or a new concept for you, but healing with light is actually nothing new. It's been around since the dawn of time. The sun is nature's original phototherapy, signaling our bodies to make essential vitamin D. It also signals other vital processes in the body. Then with photobiomodulation, though, this is a type of light therapy that uses specific wavelengths of light to stimulate cells that boost energy production, promotes the healing process, reduces inflammation, improves blood flow, helps with tissue repair. And what's exciting is that it is accessible, it's non-invasive, it's affordable, and risk-free. So now what if I told you that these little stickers, these little light patches, use this light technology to increase a naturally occurring copper peptide in our body? Well, that's exactly what the X39 patch does. So through this process of photobiomodulation, it increases the production of human or our own GHKCU copper peptide. And this is known as the holy grail of age reversal. And again, this is not synthetic, right? Your body's actually producing this on its own. So, and they are naturally occurring, but just like with stem cells, they also decrease with age. So this copper peptide was actually isolated back in 1973 by Dr. Lauren Picard, PhD and researcher. So there's 50 years of research to back it up. And you can research it all for yourself, find out all kinds of studies on pubmed.gov, which is an online repository of scientific research. So some of the incredible benefits that we know of GHKCU is that it supports repair and regeneration. It boosts collagen and elastin. It also has multiple anti-inflammatory, anti-anxiety, anti-pain, and even anti-cancer properties. GHKCU is also known to reset over 4,000 genes in our genome. So basically resetting our DNA to a younger, healthier state. But here's the clincher. GHKCU reactivates our own dormant stem cells. And it does this through the power of this patch. So LifeWave X39 is a small wearable phototherapy patch about the size of a quarter. You can see it here on my hand. It's a patented product, uses this process of photobiomodulation using your body's own infrared heat. We are all light beings. We all emit a low-level infrared light, right? We are all warm to the touch. So there is nothing on this patch going into your skin or into your body. It actually acts like a mirror, reflecting specific light frequencies back into the body, signaling biological changes at the cellular level. So this patch consists of organic materials like amino acids, sugars, oxygen, water, salt, and those ingredients form a crystal lattice structure that reflect these wavelengths of light. So the patches are non-transdermal. They're latex-free. They don't contain any drugs or chemicals or stimulants, so they are safe to use without interfering with any medications. So there are no contraindications because nothing is being absorbed into your skin. So here's where it gets exciting and what it can do for you, for your loved ones. So first off, it reduces inflammation and pain. And unfortunately, the majority of us walking around have chronic inflammation, and this leads to all kinds of disease. And why this is so important is because we want to reduce that inflammation. So the X39 targets the chronic inflammation in the body. It improves strength, stamina, energy levels, and it actually does this by specifically targeting the mitochondria to help make more energy in the cells. And this is why people experience this energy boost. That's one of the things that they notice right away. It improves muscle and bone density, strengthening and building lean, strong muscles and bones, great for anyone wanting to level up their physical game. We know that Olympians, professional athletes use this patch to gain a competitive edge. It helps with mental clarity, reduces stress. I've definitely noticed this with less brain fog, more mental clarity, not forgetting things. It balances hormones, eases anxiety, also cycle regulation for women and balancing out those hormones. Some of my good friends have experienced this sense of calm, like myself, like this weight has been lifted off their shoulders. It improves hair growth and skin appearance with increasing collagen and elastin. Both men and women are experiencing new hair growth, returning back to their normal hair color. It helps with wound healing and scars. We know that surgeons are recommending their use on their patients pre and post surgery for faster healing. It improves sleep, with many people reporting this deeper sleep, having vivid dreams. This is one of the most common benefits people have right off the bat. This is a huge benefit, right? Because this is when the repair and the healing happens, is when we're sleeping. So what is truly exciting is this little patch works systemically. It works to repair and heal all over the body with a 2,100% stem cell proliferation rate. So they're just multiplying all over the place. Okay, now for the long-term results. So within the first few days, your body starts to reset over 4,000 genes, whether you feel this or not. And that is no small feat because we actually only have around 20,000 genes in our genome. So resetting 4,000 is huge. Some of you may have heard of the so-called benefits of red wine, that molecule it contains in it called resveratrol. That is known to reset 2 genes. And so we're talking about 4,000 genes with this patch. Then within 6 weeks, the brain becomes more balanced, more mental clarity, less brain fog, more focus, less anxiety and depression. Many people coming off their anxiety meds, their antidepressants, right? This is huge with so many people suffering from mental health issues. Within 3 months, collagen increases. Often people think of collagen as having to do with the outer appearance, the aesthetics, the skin, the hair, the nails. But collagen is actually the most abundant protein in the body. It's needed all throughout our vascular system, our blood vessels, all of our fascia, which supports our organs. Collagen is actually the master protein in our body, and we can create it with this patch. Then within 6 months, the heart actually reverses in age by 6 years, by 8 years. Many testimonials about people no longer having atrial fibrillation, no longer requiring surgery, coming off their meds, coming off their blood pressure medication. Powerful, powerful testimonials with improved heart function. Okay, so how do you wear it? This is what I love. It's super simple to wear the patch. It's adhesive with medical grade tape. So you stick it on the body, on the skin. It's activated by your own heat. So even by putting it in your pocket or sticking it to your clothes, it's going to be effective. That's why you don't want to transport them on you or in a pocket. I usually wear it on my wrist or on my hand if I'm wanting to advertise it, but you can really put it anywhere on the body. If you have pain, put it on the pain site. So you wear it for 12 hours during the day, you take it off at night, it's disposable. There's a little bit of life left in it, so you can actually put it on your pet, anything that emits infrared heat. So a pet, wrap it around your pet's collar, they get the benefit from the rest of the patch. Also, you can put it in plants. You put a new one on the next day. So you want to make sure that there is a break from the stimulation of the light. Otherwise, the body gets used to it. It's not as effective. We call that attenuation. It is super important while you are wearing the patch to keep hydrated. So drinking water with electrolytes. So you can drink all the water you want, but you are not going to hydrate your cells without those electrolytes. And when I say electrolytes, I'm talking about a good quality sea salt, not a refined salt. The good quality sea salt has all of those minerals, those trace minerals, those electrolytes in it. Those minerals help to pull the water into the cells and actually hydrate inside the cells. And because this is working through a copper peptide, it's important that we have copper in the body. Most of us are actually copper deficient or it's not bioavailable. So we want to make sure that we are getting copper in our food sources. If not, perhaps a supplement, but definitely I recommend food sources. So superfoods like organ meats has a ton of copper in it. I mean, they're superfoods anyway. So the organ meats, the beef liver, that kind of thing. Oysters and other shellfish are excellent. Avocados, nuts such as cashews, sunflower seeds as well. And also for the chocolate fanatics, if you are eating the 90% cocoa, the 90% dark chocolate, Even just a small square gives you enough copper for the day, but it has to be the bitter 90% kind. All right, so what to expect? So I definitely encourage you to take note of your current state and specific issues. So even before you start patching, so even taking pictures of your skin, your hair, your scars, your veins, write out your wish list, track your progress. We provide a health tracker to track that progress. It's important to remember, though, that every body is different. Everyone has a different experience, a different state of health, potentially a different toxic load. So you want to give it time. David Schmidt, the inventor, recommends committing to it for a month for every decade you are old. But after 3 months, 97% of users experience a noticeable difference. So it's important to be patient and keep consistent. And although we might want these patches to do something specific, the body knows best, and it's extremely intelligent. It's going to heal and repair and do what it needs to do in priority sequence. Sometimes your body will focus on areas you didn't even expect. Because you may have started patching because maybe you had some knee pain, but you actually start feeling maybe less anxious, less anxiety, more mental focus. This was the experience of a good friend of mine, and then it was her knee pain that went away. Also, healing takes energy. So if you are tired, listen to your body. Rest, get that extra sleep, because that is when the repair and the healing actually takes place. Practice deep breathing, allow the oxygen to get in, allow that circulation to happen. That's always a good practice. All right, so we're going to get into some testimonials, and I'm going to show you, well, first off, my friend Diane. So she is the one that introduced me to this patch, and this is her incredible story. So after months of suffering from heart and lung issues, from being sick, she was open to trying the patch because it was something natural with no side effects. And so within 24 hours of being on the patch, she was no longer short of breath. Her heart palpitations went away. She was back exercising, doing intense HIIT training 2 weeks later. After a month, her dry eye, her floaters went away. A year and a half later, she no longer required her reading glasses. Her eyebrows, her eyelashes have grown in, the spider veins disappeared, and the gray hair gone. She introduced the patches to her 80-year-old father. He was a huge skeptic. That's him pictured there on the right. This picture is actually after they had played racquetball. 3 out of 4 games of racquetball, and her dad won those 3 out of 4 games against Diane. This was back in the wintertime. Whereas 3 years ago, there was no way he could do that. He had sciatica pain, he had numbness in his leg, limited mobility, he had gout, plantar fasciitis. And that is now all gone. It took him 4 months, though, before he saw the results, but he was consistent with it and he continued to wear it. So here are some physical examples that I can share too, with some before and after pictures. So you can see the progression here. So this picture on the left, when she started, this woman started back last July. So this is over a 6-month period with the hair really filling in. Because that picture on the right there is pictured in January. So this is 6 months later. Lots of testimonials about natural hair color returning and hair filling in, getting thicker. Then the comparison shot on the right? So this is scoliosis. Scoliosis is a curvature of the spine that this woman had experienced. You can see she was wearing the X39. She was also wearing actually the Ice Wave patch for pain. This is one of the phototherapy patches that David Schmidt had created before the X39, and it is for pain. This healing took place in a 4-week period. I also know someone personally that has an amazing testimonial with curvature of his spine that he was born with and has had tremendous results. Okay, now here's some more before and after pictures. So here on the left, the skin condition that this woman had suffered with called vitiligo. She had tried everything. And when she started patching, I'm not sure the time frame actually for her healing, but this skin condition she experienced, if you're not familiar, vitiligo, it's when the skin becomes depigmented. So this is due to a lack of melanin. It's often related to an autoimmune disease. However, as you can see, it virtually disappears after this woman wore the X39. Then on the right-hand side, this amazing difference, the before and after photos of this surgical wound. So this is a knee replacement. This is only after 2 days of patching. And as I said, surgeons are recommending these patches pre and post surgery for the faster healing times. Okay, so I've touched on brain health a couple of times tonight. So when we talk about brain health and coherence, so this is an image of a functional EEG. So this is a brain scan of a 77-year-old woman on the left-hand side. So this is session one before the use of the patch, the red in the image showing the high inflammation of the brain, the lack of brain coherence. Then after only 3 weeks, you can see session two where there's no red, there's no more inflammation. The dark blue is actually this low energy state, but the green, that's where you're starting to see some more coherence come in. So then at the 6 week mark, this third session, you can see there's no inflammation, there's no red there. There's a lot more green coming in, which is indicative of this higher brain coherence. And again, this is only after 6 weeks on the X39 with the 77-year-old woman. All right, so I'm going to stop sharing my screen for now, and I'm actually going to call on, if I can find the button. Oh my goodness, where did it go? Stop share. Okay, there we go. I found it. Okay, I'd love to call on, Tamara. Tamara, I see you on my screen. I'd love, in your home. I'd love if you can unmute and
Hey,
share your story.
sorry, yes, I'm still dressed for golf. Just got in, so I
Awesome.
caught the initial portion of the video. So, yeah, no, my testimonial I think is for me it's been amazing. So I met Beth in a parking lot. I had ordered patches and picked up a sleeve of X39s, put one on, and I would say like within 15 minutes, hip pain that or really discomfort. I could still function and do everyday things, but it was there. I noticed it, and within 15 minutes, that discomfort was not even mentionable, and that was last August, and I haven't noticed it since. So for me as an athlete, I was a very avid softball player, volleyball player. I'm a very avid golfer now, and for me, how I golf, it was kind of always one of those things that was in the background. So tremendous change for me from a golfing perspective. What else? Sleep, I know it's always mentioned as one of those things, but really that is one of the biggest things that people notice, me included. I went from 6 to 7 hours a night of sleep, or waking up or not being able to fall asleep, to 8 to 9 hours solid sleep, sleeping hard, feeling really rested when I got up. My husband had a really similar reaction. Maybe not, he was always someone who would sleep, but his dreams became more vivid and he felt really rested after sleeping as well. And that was within like probably a week of our first X39 patch that we put on. Mental clarity, lots of energy. I got home, put on that first patch, and I was like cleaning around the house, and my husband thought I was like insane how much I was doing on that given day. I'm usually pretty active and I do things, but I was just like all over the place, like trying to get things clean. I had so much energy starting off that first day. My husband has noticed improved digestion. He had his ankle was broken in 2006, and he suffered for years with poor digestion after taking antibiotics and the like. Um, Very, very different now. His digestion has really turned around. He feels great. What else for me? Yeah, I think over the last number of years, I've had fillings fall out of molars. And I noticed, I think around like November, December timeframe, that those um, lack of molars, because I didn't have a dental plan, so I didn't want to really spend the money at that point in time. I didn't want to be in a dentist. The molars are growing back in. I feel like my teeth are coming back in. Maybe not exactly how they used to look, but there's no sensitivity. Um, uh, there's it just feels like there's more enamel growing on those teeth every day, and that's a real comfort for me. What else? My hair. I don't think I've mentioned this before on previous testimonials, but my hair, I don't have a lot of gray, but what little gray that I did have, I feel is coming out. But from a thickness perspective and growth, I had my hair cut in February. I had about 6 inches cut off. And I swear to God, at least 4 to 5 of those inches have grown back since I had my hair cut in February. My hair has always been very thick, so the texture hasn't changed, but just like the length and how fast it's growing. Fingernails are growing without ridges. I've heard a few people mention those. That's changed for me very recently, and I would say in the last 2 months I had a little bit of golfer's elbow, and I'm also trying to learn Spanish, so I'm learning using Duolingo, so I'm on my phone all the time. And I think that's created a little bit of carpal tunnel in my forearm and whatnot. And I was patching regularly, but the pain was there. But I added an Eon patch in the last month, and I put it specifically in the area where I was feeling the pain. And I would say within less than a week, I was 90% lack of the pain or the discomfort that I was feeling. And just in the last week or so, I don't even notice it anymore. And I could barely pick up like a mug for a cup of tea, and like I could feel it. So tremendous differences on all of those avenues. But sleeping is fantastic. So I could talk about my husband, but I know you want to keep these short tonight, Beth, so I'll leave it at that.
Awesome. Well, check, check, check. I mean, you're checking a ton of boxes there and just a wide variety of testimonials, right? And I'm sure things that you weren't even necessarily thinking that you needed improvement on. So thank you for
Absolutely.
sharing. Yeah, that's amazing. And we
Welcome.
didn't just meet in a parking lot. We met years before that,
We knew
but
before that, but yes, we met in a parking lot just for that
to exchange
particular trans.
patches. Yeah, amazing. Thanks so much for
Yep.
sharing, Tamara.
Thank you.
Marcia, I would love for you to share your powerful testimonial tonight.
Okay, so I hooked up with Beth in December of 2024, so 6 months ago. And I started wearing the patch on December 29, 2024. I didn't notice anything. I'm pretty healthy. I work out several times a week, etc. And I'm 73. Now, in month 4, when you're in the gym, you're flexing and you're looking in the mirror and all of this, I noticed that in month 4, when I was flexing, one shoulder was not lower than the other. I've had curvature of the spine since I was at least 16. And when I was flexing in the gym, there was no curvature of the spine. So that's one thing that I noticed. This left eyebrow was shorter and thinner than this one. Now they're both thicker and they're both the same length. Number 3, I had a wart on the left, on behind my left leg. It's gone. The other day on Thursday or Friday, I noticed under here there's a narrow patch of dark brown black hair. You can see that I'm gray. Yesterday, this is number 5, I was working out in the gym. I thought, okay, besides doing lower body workout, I'll do upper body workout. So I did that, and then I had energy to burn. That's never happened to me. If I've done 2 workouts, that's it. I come home and have a nap. Yesterday, I had energy to burn. So that's my testimonial. And so we have here age reversal in full swing.
Yes, amazing, Marcia. Love it. I love it. It just keeps getting better and better, doesn't it? Thanks so much for sharing tonight. All right, Terry, if you're able to unmute. There you are. Yeah.
Let me see if I can grab my glasses. I'm in, I'm in the kitchen doing my strawberries.
Yes. Tis the season.
The season, yes. So originally when I started the patches, I just wanted to sleep better. That's all my goal was to sleep. And lo and behold, I'm sleeping better. I have more energy, I have more stamina, muscle recovery, endurance. My stress incontinence is like 80% better. I can jump on the trampoline with the grandkids, not feel like I'm going to pee my pants. Um, Brain fog. I don't know if I really had any, but everything seems clearer. I seem to handle stress better. When I came home from Asia, my jet lag was zero, zero jet lag. Um, and my digestion seems better. I had suffered from a rectal fistula for about a year. That pain went away in 7 days. That that literally made me cry. And there's just so many more things. My skin, I'm waiting for these to be gone, the reading glasses, but my sight is improving. At some days it's better than others. And if the gray hairs start to disappear, I will be very celebratory because I'm 59. I don't feel 59, but hopefully soon I won't look it either. So yeah, but so many more things. There's so many more other things too, probably, but that's some of the main ones. And I will not stop wearing the patches.
Awesome, Terry. Thanks for that. Do you want to share a little bit about Adam too?
Oh, yes. Okay. So my son, who just turned 36, he had suffered with alopecia for over 10 years. So he came back from living in China and his hair started falling out, patches in his beard, then his head, then his eyebrows. We tried all kinds of different natural therapies, from supplements to detoxes to IV infusions at the naturopath. He was even in an experimental um, drug study at McMaster University in Hamilton, McMaster, and they were using anti-rejection drugs for transplant patients for the side effect of hair growth. And I kept on him about his kidney function because I'm a nurse, and he said, they say it's fine, they say it's fine. Well, it wasn't fine. He lost it on the doctor when he found this out that they were starting to put him into kidney failure. He stopped it immediately, and he just figured he would never have his hair kind of thing. He actually even tattooed on his head to look like a brush cut. And when he heard I was using the patches, he says, well, I want to try them. So he started on them, and 6 days in, his hair was growing. It's continuing to grow, and now it's coming in darker than it was, and even his eyebrows and everything. He's also sleeping better through the night, not getting up at all through the night. And that's when his fiance said, well, if you're doing this so much better, she said, I'm wearing them too. So they're both on them. And they
Amazing.
feel great.
I just put up his before and after photo. I mean, it's so powerful. The fact that 6 days after patching, he started the hair growth on the top of his
Yeah.
head, and then 2.5 months later, what is that? That looks like maybe half an inch, three quarters of
Yeah,
an
it's
inch of
probably a bit
hair.
longer now. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Amazing.
yeah,
Amazing. Love it. I'm so
yeah.
excited for him. So excited for you. Thank you so
Oh,
much.
we had
Oh,
another miraculous one with him also. He had injured his knee, banging it under a table, and then he was working out with it hard with his job, ended up with a bursitis in his knee, which I told him to put his X39 on the knee. And then when I saw him a couple days later, we patched him with the Eon and the Ice Wave, and in the matter of a couple days, he was good to go again.
love it.
So the
Oh
power
my
of the
gosh,
patch
that's
is
amazing.
phenomenal.
The power of the patch.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Terry, for
No
sharing
problem.
tonight.
No problem.
Awesome. Love hearing these stories. Okay, so we're going to go back into the formal part of the presentation. I'm going to share my screen again just to wrap it up, and then I will open it up for some questions tonight. So just let me know when you can see my screen. Oh, good. Okay, great. So who is behind this genius behind this miracle patch? So David Schmidt is the CEO of this 20-year-old company, LifeWave. He actually has over 200 patents to his name. So I'm going to adjust the slide. But he started working with the US government. He was actually part of the Navy SEAL program, where he was creating something that could keep the SEALs alert, mentally focused on these missions that lasted 36 hours. And that's where the first patch of LifeWave was born. That was actually his first patent. Then David found himself at Stanford University putting those original patches, the energy enhancer patches, we call them ENR Spark in Canada, but he started putting those original patches on the US Olympic swim team. They ended up having amazing success with it and all set personal records, but this was 20 years ago. Then in 2008, David realized that the future of medicine was in stem cells. And so that's where he began to figure out a way that he could leverage the natural stem cells that are inside the human body. So after 10 years of research, $4.5 million by 2020, he had received a 20-year patent on the X39. And so this company went from this steady state $20 million company to closing out 2024 over 600 million. This is a 3,000% growth rate in 4 years. There is truly nothing else like it on the market. And we have in fact been recognized for this incredible growth by DSN, or Direct Selling News, with the Bravo Growth Award. So this honors companies with the highest year-over-year revenue growth on the Global 100 list. So these companies are not only scaling their businesses, but setting new benchmarks for the entire industry. LifeWave has received this Bravo Growth Award for 2 years in a row now. So there really is no competition out there in the marketplace. There's no competition because, as I said, the X39 holds a 20-year patent. The 22-page patent, you can check it out at thisisinfo.com. That's a great website to check out for all kinds of different resources. The patent is there. The 22-page patent, but this one paragraph actually says it all. So elevates copper peptides, activates stem cells, improvements in strength, stamina, pain relief. So the patent is on the structure, right? The material, or that crystal lattice structure where the patch reflects specific frequencies of light back into the body. There are clinical studies that show the significant increase in the production of copper peptide GHKCU measured in urine analysis, blood samples, other lab analysis. And in order for David to get a patent, he had to prove that it works. So as I said, you can check out the patents. There are studies there. There are powerful testimonials at thisisinfo.com. Again, there are doctors explaining the technology. David Schmidt is being interviewed. And again, I point to the powerful testimonials on there. There's a whole children's section as well about how children have fared and what their experiences have been. So everything from neuropathy to heart health, to inflammation, to cognition. You can go check it out at thisisinfo.com. All right, so it's exciting to think what this could do for you, right? For your family, because maybe you're feeling a whole heck of a lot better about yourself. You've increased confidence because you're finally getting to the root. Your body is healing. Maybe it's returning to a job that you had to quit because of the pain you were in. You're able to enjoy your life again and thrive instead of just surviving. Maybe you're able to level up your physical game, hit some new physical goals in the gym, or maybe it's having some financial freedom with the trajectory that this company is on. So simply sharing with others can allow you to live life more comfortably, whether it's offsetting the cost of your own patches, covering a car payment, or living abundantly. This is all possible with the power of this patch. So let me share with you how you can start. LifeWave offers 3 options to enroll. These prices are all in US dollars for a month's worth of patches. There are 30 patches in what we call a sleeve or an envelope. So first, you can enroll as a retail customer, paying retail price. We often see practitioners in the States set themselves up like this, offering this to their patients. But of course, we promote getting set up with wholesale pricing, $99 US. So then you have 2 options. You can sign up as a preferred customer, commit to a monthly subscription, or as a brand partner. We typically recommend the brand partner option because not only can you take advantage of the wholesale pricing, but you also secure a spot on the team and can leverage the incredible momentum that this company is experiencing by building a business without additional cost. There is no overhead, just the cost of your own personal patches. So what we often see is people begin to experience success. They start sharing the product naturally with others, and they can earn a commission. And sometimes they end up building a full-time basis. We have many people on our team that saw the opportunity right away and are building successful businesses. Okay, so signing up as a brand partner Again, there is no pressure. There's no pressure to share or build a business, nor is there an additional investment or commitment. You're just paying for the cost of your personal patches. And so there are several enrollment kits available to get you started. And so the more that you purchase upon signing up, the better the value. The cost actually comes down considerably for your initial order. You can upgrade at any time through those enrollment kits. You just pay the difference, receive the difference in the number of sleeves of patches. That way you can start sharing them with friends and family. You can loan them out to people in parking lots as they wait for their order to come in. It's fun to get people started on them as they wait for their order, for sure. So it's exciting not only where this company is going, but our team is the #1 team in the whole company. It has incredible leadership and supports, training systems in place to grow your business. No prior experience or training in sales or network marketing required. Just a passion to help people with the freedom model, health freedom, financial freedom, and time freedom. But it all starts with your health, right? Because without your health, nothing else matters. Health really is foundational. So I want to thank you so much for coming on the call tonight. I want to encourage you to reach out to the person who invited you on this call, because they are going to guide you and set you up with the best pricing and package available. Also answer any further questions you might have. I would love to open it up for questions, but to kick it off, my closing question for you is, what if investing in your health gave you the greatest return of your life? All right. If anyone has questions, don't hesitate to put your hand up or unmute. I don't see any questions in the chat. All right. Well, if there are no questions, I encourage you to get back to the person that invited you on the call tonight. I also encourage you, if you do have time, I'm going to be joining the 9 o'clock call. So this is in 15 minutes from now. Marcia kindly put the link to that call. This is a doctor's overview. So there's going to be doctors, I think 3 to 5 doctors potentially talking about these phototherapy light patches. It's going to be a great call. So if you wanted to join that, the link is there, workwithchampions.com. But I hope to see you all on the team soon. And don't hesitate to reach out with any questions. This is recorded, so I will be putting it on my YouTube channel, so you can feel free to share it out from there. It'll probably be up within an hour, hopefully, on YouTube. And so again, you can reach out to the person that invited you on the call, and they can get the recording for you. But it is on my YouTube channel, which is Beth Blackmore. So hopefully fairly easy to find. Roger has his hand up.
I did. I finally found the hand button.
Great.
Quick question. Can you hear me, Beth?
I can, yes.
Okay. I have a quick question. Has anybody else experienced? I've patched a 80-year-old man, and he is experiencing a lot of, contrary to what we keep hearing, but he's experiencing a lot of lack of energy. He's exhausted. So yeah. I'm wondering, is this normal? Like, what's going on?
It can be. It definitely can be. So I mentioned it briefly, but I mean, healing takes energy. So imagine what type of healing is going on with an 80-year-old body. You know, who knows what kind of, I don't know, you know, what kind of medical state he was in or health he was in, but you know, it can take up lots of energy. And that's why it's important to listen to the body. There is likely a lot of genes, you know, that are resetting the DNA, like that blueprint in those cells. All of that is resetting to a younger, healthier state. So that will take time. You know, some people experience, you know, these one patch wonders, we call them, where they put on a patch and they notice a shift right away. I have to be honest that when I put the patch on, yes, I did experience some benefits, and so did my mom right away. But I was also a little bit tired. My husband was a little bit tired at first, but this is short term. This is short term as our body is resetting. And there's likely some detox effect that's going on as well. The X39 actually elevates our glutathione, which is a master antioxidant that is in our body that is produced naturally. It increases it by 30%. And so there is likely this detox going on as well, getting rid of toxins in our body that unfortunately we are bombarded with. So all of this is playing a role. And so I definitely would say that this is short term. I also encourage, because a lot of the people in that generation aren't necessarily used to hydrating themselves, so ensuring that they are hydrated, drinking water, they think salt. I mean, it's all a big learning, right? We're unlearning and relearning a bunch of new things lately. Salt is our friend, especially a good quality, unrefined salt, trying to tell that to my dad. But yeah, good quality electrolyte, a good quality sea salt, and then drinking water. It's almost like that's the biggest challenge that a lot of people face, because they're just not, I mean, yes, they're putting on the patch and they're having to remember when to put it on, when to take it off. Like that's one thing, because it is a healthy habit that we're having to do every day. But the other thing is keeping hydrated. I would say that's number one, because light works off the water network in our body. So this is going to help the energy flow. It is all about the energy flow in our body. We are these bioelectrical beings working off light, working off the heat in our body, and definitely keeping hydrated, keeping our cells hydrated is definitely going to be important for him.
Yeah.
For everybody.
Unfortunately, he's not one who drinks a lot of water. So,
no. Yeah.
That generation, sometimes they just didn't drink a lot of water. And,
no. And, yeah. And there's just a lot nowadays too, I think, that's dehydrating us. We're living in this artificial light environment. That alone is dehydrating us, let alone, the food, the food consumption, whatever we're kind of putting into our bodies. So yeah, but that could make a really big difference.
Cool. Good answer.
Yeah.
Do you have time for a follow-up question?
Sure.
Okay. So for myself, I've noticed lately, and I don't know if you mentioned earlier in your presentation about people who use the we'll call it the residue effect of the patch. They put it on their cat or whatever.
Yeah.
Collar. But there are some people who are using the residue for themselves. And I've tried doing that. But I experienced something today. Like I've been helping Noreen in the in the pumpkin patch hoeing. We're up at 6 o'clock in the morning and hoeing. And typically I put a new patch on every day. But this morning I only put a residue patch on. But I noticed the difference. So I'm wondering, how much residue is there really left in the patch after the 12-hour initial patching?
There's probably, I would say, about 16 to 18, maybe 20 hours. So in total. So that means, and we shouldn't be wearing it that long. So when David Schmidt did the research, did the studies, the best protocol was 12 hours on, 12 hours off. That doesn't mean that the patch disintegrates or is no longer active after 12 hours. It's just that the body, this attenuation happens where the light signal is no longer as effective. So that's why it's 12 hours on, 12 hours off, typically during the day. I don't know if I mentioned that, but the X39 should definitely be a daytime patch, because it does give you energy, and then it sets you up for a good night's sleep. So some people, they're very sensitive, where if they're wearing the X39 patch at night, it's going to keep them up. So I just wanted to share that. But yeah, you can definitely use the patch. So you put it on, you want to make sure that it's not near anything that's giving off any kind of infrared light or heat, like a human or an animal, or, that you're putting it maybe on your nightstand or on your countertop, where you can potentially reapply it the next day, and you will have a couple of hours that it's still effective before it is no longer active. So when you take it off, it's not like when you peel it and stick it on that it's, the 20 hours, it's like a light switch is on, and it only works for those 20 hours from when it's only activated when it's activated by your own light and your own heat. So when you take it off, it's kind of like a pause. So that means the next morning, yes, you can put it on and it will still be effective. And so when you're putting it on your plants, your animals, your pets, it can be the next day. It doesn't have to be right away, because again, it could also keep your animals awake and restless. So it's okay to, keep it, put it back on the wrapper or whatever, and then reuse it the next day. So yes, I mean, you could still be getting a benefit, but you're not going to get the full 12 hours out of that patch.
So
And so,
when you wear the, I call it the residue patch, the
yeah.
second day patch, do you only wear it for optimum like 8 hours? Because you said about 20 hours for a complete patch. Do you wear it for the 8 hours and then remove it?
Well, it depends, right? Because then you're patching halfway through the day, and then you're putting on a new patch for the rest of those, 4 to 6 hours with a new fresh patch. So I mean, it's up to you, but you still would probably have, I mean, maybe not up to 8 hours, probably 4 to 6 hours for sure, that there's still some life left in that patch.
Okay.
And so then it's a matter of, you're going to switch halfway through the day to then a fresh patch, and then it's like remembering that. Like, I think, just getting into a habit of 12 hours on, 12 hours off. But I mean, if you're finding that there's certain times in the season where you're needing that extra benefit, maybe putting the residue patch on and with a fresh patch, right? For that time during those harder, days, like when you're planting or when you're needing that extra boost, potentially you could put two of them on. Although I've heard that it's actually only 20%. When you're putting two patches, it's actually only 20% more effective. So it's not like it's like, 200 times. Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you. I appreciate the answer, Beth.
You're welcome. Take care. Belinda.
Hey, Beth.
Hi, Belinda.
I just wanted to share really quickly, and I want to be quick about it because I can be long-winded, but I won't do that.
Okay. Appreciate that.
What it did for me is my sleep pattern just totally changed. And I was like, Tamara, I believe. And it was just awesome because I would get 6 to 5, about 5 max, 4, 5, 6, usually 5 hours of sleep. And now I do like 8 to 9 hours of sleep. And it's just awesome. Okay, that's one. Number two, it really changed my digestive system. And I'm so happy about that. That's number two. And number three, when I take off the patch at night, I put it on one of our dogs. And because he had these, I don't know how he discovered them on the back of his head, neck, he had like these blisters. And he had like 3 of them in a row, and they looked like 3 big pimples, and they were in line. And and then below that, he had like 1 big pimple, and it was red. And so I've been patching him ever since I started, and I started like in May, towards the end of May. And I've got before pictures and I've got after pictures, and I've done pictures twice. And yesterday or this morning, I was looking for him, and he's got long hair, and I've dug and dug and dug and dug, and I just can't find it. I can't find the blisters anymore.
Wow.
And that's with the residue of, whatever's left on the patch at night. And today, I removed it off him, and I found one on the ground because they're outside dog. He's an outside dog. And I went to this friend who's helping me with the computer, and he's got lots of plants, and some of them are kind of dying. And I told him about the patch. So I brought him over there, and I told him, go ahead and put these patches on, and the ones that are yellow, your leaves, the leaves are yellow. Put them on there tomorrow when you come in at 10, and then take them off at 6 in the evening before you close. It's a business. Before you leave your business, then go ahead and take them off. So I gave him 2, and I'm going to go see him in the morning again, and I'll probably take another one. I don't know that it's going to work in 2 days.
I bet you it will. It will. I should share my before and after pictures with our plants, but yes, I have heard that there is some significant difference. Okay, so it'll be interesting. Keep us updated.
I sure will. I will.
Yes. Awesome. Thank you for sharing tonight, Belinda.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Sure.
All right, everyone. I hope you have a great night. And again, reach out with any questions you might have to the person that invited you on the call. And maybe we'll see you over in the next call. The doctors are going to be coming on in about 4 minutes time over at workwithchampions.com. Passcode WAVE. Thanks everybody for tuning in. And thank you so much for sharing your testimonials tonight. Those of you that shared, I appreciate it. Take care. Bye everyone.